Hello, we are Team 34 and our charity is Julian House. Today, we will talk you through who our charity is, how we raised funds, our project management strategy, and finally, our challenges and reflection. I will now introduce the charity and objectives. Julian House supports and aids vulnerable individuals who are at risk of homelessness. Their aim is to build a just society in which the socially excluded are supported and have the ability to build a sustainable and independent life. The organization has carried out many projects in the Southwest, including outreach services, housing support, employment programs, which over the years have helped thousands improve their lives. Their numerous ongoing projects require continuous donations in order to succeed. Although the country has formulated plans to prevent homelessness, many people fall through the cracks. In the past 5 years, the number of at-risk homeless people in the UK has increased. According to various data sources, refugees, people leaving prison, and people suffering from domestic abuse all contribute to this increasing rate. This highlights the key role that Julian House can play for many people, explaining the need for funding. This is what led us to organize multiple events as we wanted to ensure that we met and, if possible, exceed our financial target. We chose to stage in-person events because this seemed more appropriate for a charity which is well established in Bath and therefore can gather a local crowd with relative ease and encourage healthy donations. Our Julian House contact suggested that our prime focus should be on fundraising and gave us a target between £300 to £500. The team then decided to set it at £500. We aim to raise this sum through hosting 3 events, including a pub quiz, a bake sale, and a club bake sale, which we called Midnight Munch. We also created an online GoFundMe page. In addition, creating public awareness for the charity was displayed as a sub-objective, which we aim to fulfill at every event.
I will now talk you through how we raised funds. Starting with the pub quiz, we thought it would be a good event to host as pub quizzes are popular among students and the UK in general. This led to our main target audience being master students, as it was an attainable crowd for us to reach. In order to promote it, we created a high quality poster to easily share on personal social media, and the Canon also promoted our event. In order to attract as many people as possible, we had multiple prizes, which included vouchers to spend at the Cannon and Tycoon for the winning team, as well as vouchers to spend at Tycoon for the runner-up team. Through this event, we raised £200. Our second event was a bake sale taking place in a prime location in Southgate, which made us easily visible for the congested crowds. Bake sales are very popular fundraising events as they attract a large variety of customers. We decided to bake a variety of cakes in order to make it appealing. This included cookies, brownies, and the public's favourite lemon drizzle cake. We reached out to local bakeries and received a generous donation from Makoko, who provided us with carrot cake and cheesecake brownies, which were very popular during the sale and gave our selection a sense of professionalism. Our charity also allowed us to use their smoothie bite for the day. This made our stall more attractive as it intrigued many people, particularly the younger generation. In order to promote the event, we created a poster to let people know where and when it would take place and shared it on social media. Southgate also took a picture of our stall on the day in order to promote it on their accounts. For this event, we knew that a large majority of customers would be people walking past it. Thus, we made the stall attractive to encourage people to stop and inquire about the food and the charity. It helped us raise £454, which made it our most lucrative event. Our final in-person event was a midnight munch in Labyrinth, a local club. After brainstorming, we thought this would be an interesting event to host as people who consume alcohol often get hungry. We conducted an informal survey among friends to see how popular the event would be and received positive feedback, which reinforced our belief that this could be a successful event. Participants also gave us helpful advice, including selling savoury snacks. In terms of promotion, our target audience was the club's standard customers, students and young adults. We also knew local universities were having graduation ceremonies that week, and Labyrinth also posted our event on the social media. We managed to raise £150 on that night. Our last fundraising tool was a GoFundMe page. We thought this would be ideal as it would bring in a continuous flow of money over a long period of time. It was also a way to reach out more broadly to people and not limit us to the geographical boundaries of Bath. The main target audience for this was mostly friends and family and extended to people in the network as well. In terms of promotion, each team member had a special link to share in order to raise funds. It helped us raise £355. We will now talk about our achievement. Overall, we exceeded our target by around 132% by raising £1,160. Part of this is owed to the event being in person, which confronted people about the homeless issues surrounding them and encouraged participants to donate more than our set prices. We also raised a good level of awareness throughout most of our events, apart from Midnight Munch, as the volume of the music in the club made it hard to share information concerning the charity. As for the GoFundMe page, every £50 raised we had to complete a challenge linked to our charity. For example, one of the locations, Menvos and Hostel, in Bath provides 20 beds, thus team members had to walk 20 kilometres in a day. We thought this would be an entertaining way to include facts about the charity. Now let's talk about pricing strategy. In order to maximize funds, the team decided to price products differently in order to appeal to our different target audiences. For the pub quiz, the price was set at £2.50 as it is within the normal price range for this type of event. We did not want to charge too high as it could have been a deterrent for those living on a restricting student budget. As for the club night, we decided to make it our cheapest event as we knew that high prices would deter people from buying, as customers would see drinks, not food, as a standard purchase in the club. Thus, all products were on sale for £1. Finally, for the bake sale, you can see on the slide the different prices we settled on. We decided to adopt the 49.99p technique for most prices, as psychologically, individuals tend to find it more attractive, particularly when prices are set for newly promoted products.
I will now take you through the planning and project management of our events. We decided that some tasks had to be completed or in progress by the actual start time of the action project. Thus, in parallel to working on the case project, team members were assigned tasks which concerned finding venues and sponsors. We applied SMART goals in order to ensure appropriate management of the project. It allowed us to establish clear objectives and focus on what needed to be achieved, which tasks needed to be prioritized, and how success can be measured. In order to keep our project on track and make sure that all tasks would be completed, a Gantt chart was implemented. This helped us track progression as well as difficulties as it gave us a large overview of what needed for event completion and organization. It also helped us set a clear timeline and displayed whether the content on the timeline was in fact achievable. Initially, we had planned to have all the venues sorted by the start of the action project as it would be the most time-consuming task, and without them, the events could not come to life. As we encountered difficulties with securing venues, we had to push back that date. Indeed, the action project started on the 11th of July, and we secured the venues on the following dates presented on the slides. For Southgate, the process was longer than expected as the person in charge of assigning spots had been on leave for several weeks. The main reason why we struggled to book a pub was because the manager of a different venue initially gave us the go-ahead to host. However, in the end, the owner refused to accommodate it, which set us back a few weeks. Due to these setbacks, we employed an agile methodology that allowed us to deal with uncertainties. All team members could freely work on any project if they believed their skill sets were appropriate for the task. This prevented people from being locked into one job and having to deal with the consequences alone, such as venue rejection. Still, adhering to our SMART goals and Gantt chart stopped this flexible framework from bringing disorder to the project. The Gantt chart helped increase team productivity and resource planning. It also allowed high levels of communication and understanding of the team and its deadlines, mapping out everything for all team members to see.
We will now reflect on our experiences. So what went well? Respecting the budget given by the university in order to execute our events was a key priority. We ensured that money would only be spent on items when essential. This led us to search for free venues to host our in-person events. We also reached out to local businesses in order to find prizes. The Cannon and Tycoon donated theirs for free. Our biggest and only cost was buying ingredients for our sweet and savoury products. Still, our persistence to not overspend resulted in us getting a £10 discount coupon from Sainsbury's. Moreover, Makoko generously donated 32 slices of cake, which meant spending less on groceries. Overall, £90 was spent on all the events, and we raised £1,160, which verifies how effectively we used our budget. Secondly, time management. We knew that finding venues and sponsors would be the most time-consuming part in terms of planning our events, so we organised these in parallel with our case project in order to ensure feasibility and preparation time. All tasks were given buffer times to allow for rejections and potential issues. It worked out great, as thanks to our Gantt chart, we managed to have all our tasks completed a couple of days before the event, excluding baking, as we had to use fresh products for this. Now we will look at what went wrong and what we could have done differently. Planning. Following the submission of our event proposal, we were told to think about the available time given, as we had planned to host 3 in-person events, a fundraising page, and an online raffle draw. We started to plan the raffle draw early on, as we needed donations from many local businesses. However, after looking into the administrative characteristics, we found out that a raffle license would take at least 4 weeks to obtain and cost £60. This fit neither in our time nor budget constraints, making the decision to not host relatively straightforward. Therefore, we could have been more realistic from the start about what was possible to achieve in our timeframe and budget. Focusing on a reduced number of events would have ensured more efficient use of our time. Secondly, missed details. As mentioned previously, we had to find a new venue for the quiz in a short amount of time. Preceding the pub quiz, several key preparation details were missed. Firstly, our team didn't check the venue preceding the event. There was no ventilation, and the pub has a policy which forbid us from opening windows as it was a listed building. The event took place a couple of days after a serious heatwave, which resulted in an uncomfortable setting for team members and participants. Secondly, we didn't remind participants to bring ID when promoting the event. It led to some of them leaving the venue as requested by security. Also, we had not planned what to do in cheating scenarios. A problem arose, leaving us unsure concerning how to handle the situation. Even though we initially had a potential venue for several weeks, they never truly confirmed that we could host our event. Therefore, looking for backup venues would have avoided the level of stress that was exerted on the team. Checking the venue beforehand would have been beneficial for us, as we could have brainstormed solutions as to how to make it more bearable, such as preparing jugs of water for each table. On our promotional poster, we could have reminded people that it is a venue that requires ID, which would have avoided trouble with security. And finally, discussing negative scenarios such as cheating could have led to the implementation of rules such as a 5-point penalty for cheating, which could have deterred these actions. There were also missed opportunities. Krispy Kreme informed us they had a fundraising dozen to help charities raise money. However, because we didn't check how long in advance the order should be made, by the time we made up our minds, we had missed the window to buy them. This shows how checking details concerning when tasks needed to be completed at the latest could have prevented us from missing opportunities such as this. There was also the idea of expectations versus reality. Our club night, Midnight Munch, did not meet the expectations for several reasons. Even though we conducted an informal survey beforehand to get an understanding of how the event would be received, in the end, reality fell short of our expectations. Our booth did not have the appeal that we had forecasted. This was mostly on account of the club giving out free snacks next to our stall, as it was glam night. Not even our low prices could match our competitors' advertisement of being free. Due to the lack of success for the event, we had plenty of leftover food. Although the charity said they would distribute any leftovers from our event, a lack of prior communication meant they did not respond to us until the food was no longer edible. Doing more research concerning what glam night entailed could have led us to see that this event did not provide the right environment for our sale. It could have resulted in us hosting the event on a club night that had no competition, or even deciding to not host the event. Additionally, having better communication with our charity contact would have helped when determining the future of leftover products.
Thank you very much for your attention.